Good morning, everyone. We are live. Welcome to You Have Beauty Care Choices. Today we have a great vegan hair care brand that we're going to be talking to the owner and creator. I'm very excited to have him on our show. He is an American entrepreneur. He has helped develop and launch some of the largest beauty brands in the industry. And through that process of developing these brands and working with some of the biggest names, he has created a brand unlike any other brand. It is 100% vegan, plant-based ingredients, and it's formulated to help you heal damaged hair, and also the biggest thing is prevent color fading. So if you have any of those issues, we all can kind of struggle with hair fading when you go to the salon and you invest in this great hair color. Nothing's worse than having it fade out. And some hair color just fades, and sometimes it's us doing it. So he's got some great tips on color fading and how to prevent that, and how his products are revolutionizing these problems in our industry. So I'm wearing purple today. My baby girl, who some of you know from being on the show, Jane Amelia, is graduating high school today. Congratulations, Jane, and all of our Shasta Wolves. Go purple. And we're doing a drive-through graduation tonight. Decorating the car, gonna drive her on through. So I'll let you guys know next week how it goes. But hey, you know, class of 2020, they're making their mark on the world, I guess. So we're excited for her, very proud of all of her accomplishments, and so that should be a fun evening. So I guess thank you all for joining, and let us know when you do join. Say hi. If you have any questions along the show, feel free to pipe in. Allison's here with me, feeding me all of your questions. Tobin's here with us, putting your graphics up and going to be helping us keep the show rolling. Click the little button at the top if you'd like to be notified of future shows. And we love to have you join and give us questions and topics for the future. This is what it's all about, is figuring out how we can feed the questions or feed the answers to you about the brands that you guys are really interested in. And I know Beauty Care Choices customers are very curious and educated and concerned about the products and ingredients they put on their hair and skin. And we know this from 15 years of answering your phone calls. So this is why we created the show, so that you can get more information about the brands that we carry and we love. Hi, Becky. Thank you. Woohoo, Jane. I appreciate that. Hi, David, Michelle, Celine, Cam, and Joe. Thank you all for joining. So without further delay, I am going to welcome to our show Mr. David Paris, the creator and founder of Colure, which is the combination of color and couture. Right, David?
That's right. Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Welcome. Well, I am so thrilled to have you on our show. I have read your name through the years. You're quite an icon in the industry yourself, and have worked with some amazing people also to create this new Colure brand. Tell us about your history in the beauty industry.
Well, thank you again for having me here. I'm excited to be here. Well, I started a long time ago, probably more than 3 decades, and it was kind of interesting because I grew up being a musician at the age of 6. You know, I taught myself how to play guitar, sing, play piano, violin. And as I grew up, you know, into the 80s, hair became very important to a musician. And
3 decades. You don't look old enough to be 3 decades in the beauty industry, but then I guess neither do I.
That's right. We're still in our 20s. Right.
Awesome. So the music hair rocker kind of was your inspiration start?
Well, what's interesting, you know, I don't know if you've ever watched the John Travolta at Saturday Night Fever. You like that?
John Travolta's my guy. Some of my friends will now pop in, but yeah, I'm a pilot because of John Travolta. So yeah, he's kind of my one starstruck kind of person. But you just say his name and I hear
Well,
So
if you
Saturday
remember,
Night Fever.
yeah, if you can remember, it's great that you remember the music, but if you can remember the clothes and the hair,
Mm.
pretty much I was a duplicate of that.
Oh, right on, the white suit and all.
Yep, yep. So, back then I was excited just to get my first blow dryer because that feather look was in.
Oh yeah. Right.
Remember that?
Yeah. The comb in your back pocket.
Yep, comb in the back pocket.
I like it.
I was so excited to get my first can of mousse. I don't know if you remember mousse. To me, it was like amazing just to have that can of mousse. So,
right, the volume.
yeah. So that was my first experience just getting into the hair business. That kind of attracted me, just being the musician, having my hair and the style, and then from there it changed. Went to new wave, and one of my favorite bands back then. This is what got me into color, is Duran Duran. You remember when they came out with?
Oh yeah.
Blue hair, yellow hair. They had the whole thing going on. And, that changed me again. I was still playing music, but then I shifted to that type of music. And, at that point I had to figure out, how do I color my hair? And that's where the ball began. I had to figure out, how do I do this? How do I make this happen? And long story short, asking my friends that were hairdressers or going to school for hairdressing, they just convinced me to go with them and learn with them. So that's where I started, just the desire of using products, changing your hair, just like today. Everything, if you see today, it's the younger generation. They're doing the same thing that I was doing back then. So
the 80s was the catalyst for all of us, right? I mean, definitely 80s hair, we all think of, that's one of every generation has their things, but we definitely knew 80s hair. And then as we went into the 90s, we started getting these crazy colors that maybe people don't even realize how far back it goes, because Duran Duran, that's late 80s, early 90s when they started sporting blue hair. So you were definitely a trendsetter, right?
Well, I was trying to be. I was just so fascinated with hair products, and learning hairdressing, and I started working with several companies. One of the first companies I started to represent was KMS. I got to meet the owner and heard his story, how he used to make shampoo in the tubs of his bathroom.
Yes, we're in Redding here, so that's where KMS kind of got its legs.
Yeah,
actually right here in our hometown. So that's really cool.
And what was cool, he was a vegan company. Most people don't realize that vegan hair products started a long time ago. And
with the other people too that you've created. So you were involved in KMS. What other brands were you involved in helping launch or see the beginnings of?
Well, I also had the luxury to work side by side. Horace Ruckelbacher, he started Aveda, and that's where I got all my motivation, inspiration for having natural ingredients and aromatherapy, because he really pioneered that. From the early 80s, he pioneered that brand.
And we all know Aveda smells. And then what other brand?
And, once I went through that stage, there was two gentlemen that I really admire, because I was working for another company at that time. And I saw these two guys walking around. It was called the BBSI, which is a beauty and barber trade show that happens in Las Vegas. And I've heard about these guys before. They're very famous, but then I got to see them in person. I'm like, man, these guys have like an energy. And this was Jim Markham and Ellen Benfield Bush. They started a company called ABBA Hair Care Products.
Right. And then Jim went on to create many others, right?
Yeah, they sold that company, and Jim gave me a call and he said, look, I'm starting another brand. And I said, okay, what is it? And it happened to be Pureology. I was there from the very beginning and worked there for 4 years,
Pureology was definitely a amazing company when Jim owned it, and it still is today. But I mean, I think it really was the foundation of color preserving vegan mass market kind of, don't you think?
Yeah, back in 2000, that's really when we looked at the market and nobody really had a vegan product that was addressing certain issues. And Jim looked at the market and he says, look, these shampoos out there contain harsh detergents, sulfates like sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium lauryl sulfate, which are basically, strong cleansers. And
Right.
so he said, I'm going to come out with something different. And he did. He came out with a whole new cleansing system. And that's what brought us to the forefront of all the colorists out there.
Yeah, because the surfactants and sulfates are also the same things used in detergents, what we used to clean our floors with or our tires with or, whatever. It's a detergent. And we've all started to recognize that it might be a little harsh for our hair and body and skin, right?
Yeah, I know the entire history of that surfactant. It actually started in the 50s. And it wasn't designed for hair. It was actually designed to clean grease and oil off steel mill engines. That's what the purpose of that product was.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what I was. Yeah.
The very first shampoo company that hit the market was Breck Shampoo, and what they would do is they put that surfactant, and most of it was water and some coloring and a fragrance, and that's what Breck Shampoo was probably that launched supermodels as well.
Right, exactly. It did hold well.
yeah, exactly. I heard many stories of what that product could do.
Absolutely, and it's not all just styling, right? Flammable or no, I'm just kidding. I want to say hi to David. He says he loves your offices. Hi, Sammy. Sammy's a new cosmetologist answering our phones in customer service. Welcome, Sammy, to the show. And Tanella. Good evening, good greetings from Italy. So we've got Italy on the live with us also. So awesome. David, we've talked about your history, where you've come from. You had your, experience with ABBA and KMS and working with Jim Markham in Pureology, which all of this science, history, knowledge has built up to you creating this vegan luxury brand. Tell us about Colure and Couture Colure, your new vegan brand. Well, not new, it's since 2005, right?
Yeah, once I left Pureology, obviously Jim was
beautiful
selling it to L'Oreal, which I congratulate him because that was probably one of the biggest sales ever in the history of the beauty business. So right. Congratulations to Jim.
Yeah.
So when I left, I said, I want to continue the journey to help the hair colorists. And there was two things that I noticed that was happening still in our industry, and a lot of hair color manufacturers didn't update their instructions on how to use hair color, because I noticed the first thing that most hair colorists would have in the salon is if the consumer came back and the color was faded, I noticed that the average colorist would put color on dirty, dry, damaged hair. And I call
this is so fascinating. I'm so glad you're starting with this, because I think when we talked the other day, I was so amazed that I hadn't even thought of this myself. And I'm a hairstylist of many years, but it hadn't dawned on me. So sorry to interrupt, but I wanted people to really pay attention to this. This is big.
Yeah, so that was the thing that we noticed. And a lot of manufacturers, if you look at it nowadays, these manufacturers are updating all the information. You got to prep the hair. And it took a long time for us to reinvent something that was taught back the 50s and 60s and 70s, to put color on just dirty hair. And I think the main reason is because the chemicals were so highly volatile back then.
Much stronger.
Yeah, you had coloring products that had 14% ammonia, 10% ammonia. Today, it's unheard of to see that type of chemical in hair coloring products.
Absolutely.
All the major companies are reduced it down to 1%, and in many cases are trying to get rid of that chemical.
Ammonia free, some, yeah.
So what's happening is you got dry shampoo, hairspray, gels. Today, consumers love trying new stuff, but they're getting this color blocking element that's coating the cuticle. And when I go in these salons, I still go in the salons. I love helping my clients and potential new clients and even the consumers. I like to go in and see what's going on and help them get the results they want with their products. Because I wanted to design a product that worked with every color line, not just our own color line, but every color line out there. So it doesn't matter what line of color you use, Colure will work with those brands.
So I love
So
this. You've created your own color brand, which makes it, I think, really important to your clout on knowing how to work with color treated hair, because you know hair color. So we talk about these color blocking elements. Can you get more into that? So we know why we need to cleanse the hair is because our color that we're using these days doesn't have the ammonia. But what is that buildup, or what are these color blocking elements?
Well, a color blocking element can be anything from a wax, an oil, a dry shampoo, a mousse, a hairspray. Over a period of time, the hair becomes saturated with this. And with today's sulfate-free shampoos, everything's color safe now. So those products no longer remove the buildup or the color blocking element. So we made a product called Clean Start, which is color safe. It's not going to remove color or dry the hair out.
Do a little close up on these.
Yeah, it's called Clean Start shampoo. And this will help prepare the hair to absorb the color completely. And if you're blonding, it also works for blonding, because I noticed that a lot of the hair salons out there, when I go in, they ask me, David, do you have a lightener or you have a blonding system to recommend us? Because the blonding system that we have is coming out warm. It's coming out brassy. And
so we have a little close-up of the Clean Start shampoo that you're talking about. That's your step one in this treatment system, correct?
Yeah. The best way to use that is to, obviously, you want to rinse hair with tepid water, which is not hot or cold, and start shampooing. Starting, get a start with a quarter-size dollop and work from the crown, from the top to the tips, just going one way. And most people, when they shampoo, they focus on the scalp. But in this case, we want to get the color blocking element off the hair shaft.
Okay.
So
we're going to be starting up here on the roots and working this shampoo, this product down the shaft of our hair, as opposed to cleansing our scalp. Michelle, one of our stylists here, she says this is great information. I can't believe I've never thought of it myself either. So awesome.
Yeah, your color is going to come out a lot better. And what I like about this product, as you know as well, the salon can do it, and then the consumer can always also do it the day they come, the day before, or of the day of their color service. A lot of colorists like that, because especially with what's going on with the crisis, the person now coming in completely clean,
Absolutely. And for right now, when our salons are really tight and limiting how many people we're allowed to have in the salon, it's a great tip for people at home to know, is to come in with clean hair that's been prepped for your color treatment. And it's almost like preparing the canvas for the artist to go in and get the best saturation and penetration of the hair, right?
That's correct.
So that's what we go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. So that's the first step. At home or in the salon, this is what we recommend. You'll notice that the color is going to take more even. It's going to hold. You're going to get more deeper, richer tones. And if you're lightening, if you're blonding, you're going to get to that level you want, because a lot of people are falling short of the levels because they're trying to cut through the color blocking element.
And that makes so much sense. When you're putting the color on the hair, it's got to get down into the cuticle in order to perform. And so if you're trying to break up, a lot of people might not think, they'll think, well, I use great shampoo. But if you're using Aquanet hairspray, or, I'm going to go to the extreme, of course, but if you're using hairsprays that add buildups or that aren't as water soluble, that are going to wash away well, then these types. So what is it in the Clean Start shampoo that actually is performing? What is your ingredient deck?
Well, obviously we have sulfate-free cleansing ingredients in there.
Right.
So it's going to be very mild, very gentle, but we also have a chelator, which bonds to any minerals or metals. A lot of people don't realize our water systems have metal, iron, copper, and most people don't realize that metals actually shift the tone of color. So if you're not getting the tone of color you want or the blonding that you want, most likely the water system might be saturated with some type of metal element. So
Aluminum
this will
or
help.
yeah, any of those,
Yeah,
titanium. A lot of those can get into
copper.
your water systems. Copper from your pipes, exactly.
Yeah,
Metal, old piping, anything like that. And sometimes even medications can have some of those
yeah,
as fillers. And
right.
so anything that you're putting in your body, it can come out through your skin and onto your hair, and give your hairstylist a little challenge in getting your exact color because you have all this unwanted orange that keeps popping in when you're trying to remove these elements at the same time as you're coloring. So this
That's
is
correct.
David's philosophy using this treatment system. And I really want to start off. Normally, we start off with our clean salon icons, but all of your products are have all of these elements in clean salon, correct? They're alcohol free, gluten free, cruelty free, no artificial colors, organic, paraben free, sulfate free, vegan, biodegradable, and soy friendly. So, at least many of your products contain all of these elements, and at least some of your products contain most of them. And so that's a great thing to just start off the show, is just know every product that we're going to be talking about today is vegan.
That's correct. You got it. Everything out there looks correct.
Good. We want to represent it correctly. So we'll go back to our close-up, our Clean Start shampoo, and then we're going to go to step 2. Do you want to let's go through our cleanser or our treatment system because we're already on this topic?
Sure, sure. Thank you for putting that up. So once you get the hair clean, you now you got a clean slate. So the second thing that I notice is when I'm helping the salon, you just touched the Regenerative Spray Plus. That's a protein. It's made out of split pea protein, and it's the latest technology for repairing, rebonding, rebuilding. And most people in the past stayed away from protein. I think we've got away from protein because a lot of people are taught that it's going to make it more brittle, make it stiff. But it's not the case with this new
Because in the
technology.
past, a lot of proteins came from animal sources that ended up
Exactly.
being brittle protein, correct?
You're 100% correct on that. So with vegan protein, you got something that has 22 amino acids. I mean, it's more than we've ever seen before, and it works instantly. So when I work with hair salons, they're like, David, why do we need this? You know what? I go, well, let's test your clients when they come in. Let's ask them to feel their hair. And you can do this at home. When you wet your hair, feel your hair, and just feel the texture. And I always ask the clients, I say, look, what do you feel? And a lot of people say it feels rough or dry or coated or heavy. That's called the buildup conversation. So that we already talked about the first step. The second thing I notice is when I help the salon or the stylist remove the color blocking elements, I'll notice that hair will come out when I'm shampooing. I notice it's at the bottom of the bowl. So I'll take one strand, and the first thing I'm looking at, I want to know, where did that strand come from? If you see a little follicle at the end of it, it's probably the customer is having some type of hair loss challenge.
Some shedding going on.
Yeah, shedding, and it's normal to shed, but I always want to know, how much shedding are you doing?
Right. And why?
Yeah, and why?
Right.
And there's that could be another video that we can do another time.
Yeah.
Because there's so much information on that. But this is what I want to explain, is the most common thing that I notice, especially with blondes that are highlighting, I notice that it breaks in the middle of the mid shaft. Somewhere around here it breaks. And you'll see it too. You'll see the client come in, you'll see all these wispies,
Yeah. And
so,
a lot of that, definitely has to do with how your colorist is, if you're overlapping the colors and things like that. But like we started the show with, 2 of David's biggest elements of Colure Hair Care is extending your hair color and repairing damaged hair. So we kind of talked a little about extending the hair color, and we're kind of bridging a little bit into the repairing damage with this treatment system. But those are the 2 top things that we're really addressing in this color line, in this hair care line, correct?
Yeah, you're so right, Jennifer. So protein, what you can do is, when you get that strand of hair, if you can take one strand of hair and just gently pull it, and a couple things are going to happen. it's probably going to stretch and break, or it might stretch, and you want to do this with wet hair.
Right.
Do it with wet hair.
Okay, I was going to do it right now for you because a lot of people don't realize this, but definitely when you have wet hair, it's a lot more, and you probably can't even see it on there. But you kind of can. As you stretch your hair like that, it should have some stretch to it, but it would be different with wet hair. I get that. But just trying to show them how that stretch kind of looks is you're just not breaking, but your hair has that a little bit of bounce back. Or it should.
Yeah, exactly. So just by you doing that, you have healthy hair because if it didn't go back, a lot of times it'll look like an accordion if it doesn't go back. Your hair went back. It's
curled up, right?
Right. It either breaks or it goes into an accordion, it looks like an accordion, which means it didn't bounce back. That means you're lacking protein in the hair. So this is a great product that you can do after you remove the color blocking elements. If you don't remove the color blocking elements, all this does, it sits on top. This is intended to go into the hair, not trying to fight the buildup. It's not designed to try to fight an element to get in. That's why you want to get the hair clean.
So we want to start with the Clean Start shampoo that we addressed earlier. That's step 1. Step 2 is this reparative spray. Once you've created your clean canvas and you've gotten all the color blocking or repair blocking elements off of your hair, whether it's product buildup or medications or environmental, whatever that is, you've created a clean canvas. Now you're spraying the reparative spray in, and it now has the ability to penetrate into the hair, correct?
Right. And
I want to say just super really quick, Antonella from Italy is saying, I'm a beauty therapist and a makeup artist, and I appreciate everything, the quality of your products. So awesome.
Thank you.
Over in Italy, thank you. We appreciate you tuning in and telling us that.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, the Reparative Spray Plus, it works very quickly with this new technology. It's going to help rebond the hair and get that hair to do what your hair did. You want your hair to look like what you just did.
Right.
You don't want it to break, and you don't want it to look like an accordion. So that's the second step. You can stop right there and just rinse it and go blow dry, and you'll be great. But let's say the hair is dry now, okay? So the third item in there is called Regenerative Hair Mask. And this is something that you're going to be doing. You can do this with that protein treatment if the hair is severely dry, because this is going to replenish the hair with moisture. It's going to help adjust the pH. It's going to help put shine. It does a lot. It does a lot for the hair, and you can leave it in. So what you're going to do is just going to layer it over the protein system.
So David, just to clarify, you said if your hair is dry, you mean dry normally, not dry, not wet, right? Not dry as opposed to wet, because you're going to use this mask on wet hair, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, we want to. I actually recommend after the shampoo to towel block the hair.
Okay.
And you can do this in the shower or in the salon, and then you spray the protein in. You can comb it in gently. And then what I mean by dry hair, most people that have damaged hair, it's also dry as well.
Right. Right.
So people that have dry hair are usually people that like to blow dry a lot. They like to go swimming.
Or highlight.
The other thing that you and I talked about a few days ago is most people don't realize that hot showers, I know a lot of people love hot showers.
I was floored by this. I'm a hot shower girl. I am, like I said, I don't wash my hair every day, so my hair probably doesn't take as bad of toll. But I'm also a highlighter, so I don't have to work so hard on faded or something like that. But still, I need a lot of toning because I like to keep that real nice tone, and hot water's got to just eat away at your toner too, right?
Yeah, hot water is probably one of the unknowns that we don't talk about. It's usually blow drying, the sun, chlorine. But hot water is probably the number one that I notice with most consumers, especially when I go into salons. I ask people, do you take a hot shower? They're like, oh, I love hot shower. I can be in there for hours,
Right.
And it relaxes
the hotter, the better for me.
Yeah. Well, it's great because it relaxes you,
Right.
But what it does to color treated hair and what it does to the hair, in the long run, not only does the color go away, but the hair shaft becomes weaker and the hair becomes dry and the protein molecules start to break down. So this treatment is actually something that for those people that love taking hot showers and they're just not going to get away from hot showers, this is something they can do once a week at home to keep that hair in good shape, you know?
Right. So the mask is conditioning. Does the protein spray, I love split pea protein too, because honestly, I do a lot of these shows. We hear about soy protein. We have a few different vegan forms, but I haven't ever heard split pea protein. So I've looked into it. It is very revolutionary, cutting edge, and top performing. So congratulations on that. So we're going to shampoo, we're going to spray on the reparative spray. Does the reparative spray have some conditioning properties or detangling properties in there?
That's just pure liquid protein.
Okay.
So it's used as a tool in the salon, because you've heard the term bond building, bond builders.
Yes.
So that's what that does. You can use it in your color. You can also use it with your lightener. You can actually spray it into your chemicals to help strengthen the hair, to help protect the hair against those free radicals.
Right.
Because free radicals is what really destroys the hair during the oxidation process. And that Reparative Spray Plus can be used in that fashion as well. And I know this is a little bit more advanced, but for the hairdressers out there, this is a great product they can use in the salon, and also teach their clients how to do it at home as well.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, like you say, it is that all about right now, these bond repairing. And there's many different products out there that repair these bonds for stronger hair and coloring. And
Yep.
Hairstylists like it because you can get a little higher lift on hair because
Without
the
breakage.
hair has been strengthened and then is able to go and get that nice platinum color, where some people, you're afraid you get to a level 8 and you're like, I take this lady platinum, she's gonna be bald, or he's gonna be bald, or whatever. So definitely these protein sprays are helping so much in the salon to achieve these platinum grayish colors that a lot of clients are desiring, but their hair integrity might not be there to take it. So it gives us all kind of what we're trying to achieve, right?
You're 100% right, and even the consumers can do it at home, because I've noticed more and more consumers are doing their hair at home, which the hairdressers don't want you to do that, because it causes more harm than a solution.
Yeah, it's
like
hard to do your own hair and match what your stylist has done. There's a lot of chemistry to it, and so sometimes it can create a little bit bigger of a mess. But some people are still doing it, and some people don't have any choice right now because their salon is closed and they still want to keep it up. And I don't really know, as a hairdresser, and you yourself too, is it better to have the client come in with this much root or a little bit of orange? I don't know that it's any different. So.
Yeah, whatever the case may be, it's it's really up to the relationship between the stylist and the consumer. I mean, the closer the bond there of the relationship, the client's always going to be having the best hair.
Right. We're getting a lot of people tuning in saying everyone's tugging on their hair now. Everyone's testing their hair, but just like David said, it is better to do it wet when you're right out of the shower. You'll get a more truer test of it. But if your hair is dry and it just snaps right off, you probably need this protein spray.
Yeah, so you can leave it in up to 5 minutes. If you really want to really pamper yourself, you can leave it up longer if you want. But these products do work very quickly. They work in the shower. I do hear people saying, "Oh, I sleep with this overnight." It's okay. You can't over-proteinize the hair. The hair's not going to become brittle and like the old days, like you said, right. Animal proteins.
And so what's our step 4 in the process? We have our cleanse, and then we have the repair spray, and then we have the mask if you've got highlighted drier hair like Jen here, myself. And then step 4, what's our leave-in spray?
So obviously we're going to rinse those two out, the Reparative Spray Plus and the mask. We want to rinse those out.
Okay.
And you're probably going to leave-in Spray Plus is the main purpose of that product. Not only does it add extra protection, for the hair, but it also has a very low pH. That's the difference between Colure and a lot of other companies out there. We actually put the pH of our product in front of the bottle to let you know and you know this as well. We talked about this.
Yeah, I wanted Tobin to go close up again to show everybody that. I think that's amazing. You are probably one of the first companies that I've ever seen do that now, if I can actually get it. But you can almost see that. There you go. You see that pH there? This is a pH 5 to a 6. Every bottle has their pH factor on it, which is amazing. Do you want to just do a quick little touch up on pH? What are they looking for in pH?
Well, I'm going to get a little bit deep here.
Okay.
The natural hair, if we take natural hair that has no chemicals, the natural pH is going to be acidic around 3.67, somewhere around there. And as we put chemicals on it, like highlight, and we color it, most hair coloring products start at 9 and they start going higher, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what that does to the hair shaft, it actually swells the hair shaft and the cuticle becomes wider. And the purpose of the cuticle is to protect the hair. So when you get something that's with a low pH around 4, like the Leave-In Spray Plus, you can use this after a chemical service to get that swelling to go down. And also so the cuticle.
The higher the pH, the more acidic we are, and the lower the pH, the more alkaline. Is that kind of how it works?
The opposite.
The opposite. So the higher the pH, the more alkaline. The lower the pH, the more acidic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what you've heard of vinegar rinses, and those are all acidic. So what we're trying to do is get that cuticle back into an acidic range. And the perfect range, according to, I would say most people, it's between 4 and 5, 5.5. Those are probably where you want to stay if you have color treated hair.
So when you use chemicals on your hair and you go up to a level 9, after the service, it's our job to bring it back down, right?
Yeah, you want to get that cuticle back down. You want to get it nice and smooth again. You want it to be nice and tight. A lot of people call this locking in the color. A lot of people call this acidification. There's many terms for it. But all our products, if you look at all our products, they fall into that acidic range. Every conditioner was designed to lock in the color, seal that cuticle, hold in that color longer, So this is where we took hair, you know where I came from. So when Jim developed a shampoo that didn't take color out, we did that too. But what we did beyond and above and beyond is we made shampoos, the conditioners, to lock in the color using the pH,
Everything stays low to keep it locked down, and not have that swelling, because when your cuticle swells and all those little tentacles go out, that's what allows the hair color to escape too, correct?
Yeah, that's called oxidation. That's what you're doing with chemicals. Yeah. That's what you do with chemicals, is you want to swell the cuticle and create oxidation, but you're doing it with chemicals. If you keep that cuticle at a high pH and an alkaline level, you can go outside in the sun and your hair is going to naturally oxidize. Your color will naturally fade away. But if you want to keep that color in longer, you want to keep your blonde hair nice and bright and keep that tone in there, you want to acidify the hair. You want to lock in the color. You want to choose a product that has a low acidic range. And Colure, that's one of our main benefits of the brand, is this is designed for color,
Let's show the whole brand again. Tobin did a great collage. And so we have all the traditional lines. I love your names in there. Richly Moisture, Super Luxe, Smooth Straight, Color Enhanced, Body Volume, Styling. So we've got all of the lines. So you choose, when you're choosing your shampoo, you kind of choose what's your number one complaint about your hair. And that's the direction you go. Is that usually how you advise too? Yeah,
usually our goal was to solve problems for the consumer and the salon. And, obviously, having color put in your hair, you want it to last as long as possible. Because the average consumer today, they don't go to the salon every week or every 2 weeks. Like when I started, consumers would go every 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. From when I started, I'm hearing 2 months, 3 months.
6 to 8 weeks, definitely.
Yeah. You're seeing people go longer and longer. So
what they're doing... And that's because of your amazing products to keep our hair color from fading.
That's one reason. And,
Awesome.
obviously, the consumers are becoming more educated on what's
Absolutely.
going on with YouTube and all these channels. You got a lot of consumers testing products, and this is where they get their information.
And very ingredient conscious, ingredient aware, and
Yeah.
want to know, what are the clean salon properties that every brand has, being cruelty free, being vegan. Those are some really high important factors for consumers right now, and I hear it every day, which is why we're partnering with brands like Colure. Because I see the demand out there. They're educated and they know what they're putting on their body, and they also want to know who the creator is and where you're coming from on the product. So it's a great opportunity for them to learn more about Colure and why they'd want to support that brand and try it out.
Yeah, one of our slogans, one of our mottos is Colure cares for the color and the colorist and their consumers. I mean, that's our goal was designed to help the world look and feel better, because that's what really vegan products do, cruelty-free products, having organic ingredients. Not only are we helping the world look better, have better hair, but we're making them feel better, just like you mentioned, all those benefits. And I think that's important to a lot of consumers out there.
Yeah, it's important to look and feel better, but also feel good about what you support. And cruelty free
Sure.
and vegan is definitely something. And then also protect your investment, because hair color is expensive, and when you go in, and time is expensive, and that's more for me. When I sit in the salon, if I'm going to sit down for 3 to 4 hours and get these highlights done, they better last and they better look good and my hair better not break, and all of that stuff that you're hoping for. So it's so great to have these support products as a stylist and a consumer to protect that investment as well.
Yeah, so we've already talked about the first solution, getting the buildup off. If the hair needs protein, add the protein. If it needs hydration, it needs moisture, you can add the mask. And then obviously we want to lock it in using the leave-in spray plus. So obviously once you get that down, you're going to move to a home regimen. So you mentioned the words richly moisturized shampoo. That's our number one seller, because most people have dry hair. And that product works pretty much on a lot of people that have medium to coarse textures. And that's been one of our best sellers for 13 years now. We continue. And I know you sell a lot of it too as well.
As moisture girls, I use a lot of it.
Yeah.
As
So
moisture girls need that good moisture for sure.
So Richly Moisturized, it does have the split pea protein in it as well. It has the low pH. It has certified organic ingredients. The one thing I want to mention is that we added some extra protection for hair color, and it's called the organic super complex. And there's 6 certified organic ingredients that we put into this complex. And this complex was actually designed to restore the integral lipid layer back to the cuticle, because natural hair has its own lipid layer. And when you blow dry, you put chemicals, you destroy that layer. So the hair is pretty much exposed. Not only do you want the cuticle to lay down, but you need that additional protection.
Sealant, yeah.
Yeah. So we have certified organic aloe vera, chamomile, green tea. We have 3 certified organic oils like argan, jojoba, and avocado. So this is in all our products.
Yum.
Yeah.
So that's all of it, all of the products, but we do have the Richly Moisture. What is Super Lux for? Is that your damaged hair product?
Yeah, you're right. So, we wanted something to create the smoothness and hydration, but like you said, a lot of blonding nowadays, a lot of people doing a lot of chemical works, a lot of flat irons, especially with the beach waves. Those aren't natural. Those are all put in with a curling iron or a flat iron.
Yeah.
So we noticed the hair needed a little bit more protein. So Super Lux, we've added just a little bit more of that split pea protein. So you pretty much get everything with that Super Lux. You get protein, hydration, smoothness, shine. It locks in color. I mean, it does everything.
So why would someone use Super Lux over Smooth Straight?
That's a great question. So frizzy hair is still a huge issue for a lot of people out there, and they just need a little bit more you know, just a little bit more. And usually those consumers have medium to coarse textures. And I notice it more in the coarseness, and especially with the hair's curly and stuff like that. So we've added things like shea butter into it, because that gives you just a little bit more. Shea butter might be heavy for some people, but for those people that have frizzy hair, that have coarse hair or medium texture hairs, they love it because it really smooths the hair, gets rid of the frizz. And that's what that product's really designed to do. It does a lot of what the other products do, but it gives you that extra anti-frizzing capability with that shea butter.
So it's interesting, the smooth straight is more talking about the shaft, but if you have some sort of wave, or if you have thicker, coarser, even curlier hair, this could be the best shampoo for you, because it is the heaviest and it does provide that smoothest silky look for those with frizzy hair. And a lot of times that is the girls that have a tiny bit of wave in their hair.
Yeah, that's correct. So just look at that as getting the hair smooth, but getting rid of that frizz.
Right. It's not about you're wanting your hair stick straight. It's about smoothing down that shaft and making it smooth. So then Color Enhanced is just for are people just looking for the best shampoo but don't need a bunch of moisture. They don't need dry. Their hair's pretty, maybe virgin or just slightly colored, or that's who our girl would use, or our client, for Color Enhanced shampoo.
That's actually called Super Cool Blonde, and that's our violet toning shampoo.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that.
So somebody like you, let's say you don't want any warm tones or any brassiness, you use that just like a normal shampoo, and you work that in. And I actually recommend it just working from the top to the ends and rinse it out. And then you can choose any Colure conditioner and the leave-in spray plus to add on to it.
Great to know. I'm a moisture girl. I just love that moisture, but I'm also a stylist, so I do a lot of my toning at the shampoo bowl. But that's great to know that you guys also even have the violet shampoo for us blonde girls that need to take it home or take it on vacation. Because sometimes when you go out in the sun a lot, I'm a beach girl. That's definitely something that needs to go in my suitcase.
You're 100% right.
So our body enhanced fine girls, a lot of those fine girls out there need the extra lift. Yeah.
So right after richly moisturized shampoo, Body Volume is probably one of our second best sellers, because for those that don't have medium to coarse textures, they still wanted what richly moisturized did. But for fine hair, you can't put all that weight. So we came out with featherweight vegan ingredients that gave you the hydration, the protein, the smoothness, the anti-frizz. It's all built into these products. This is not your old technology. The old days, volumizing shampoo left the hair dry, dull looking, where this gives color treated hair or highlighted hair that vibrancy, that youthful appearance. That's what this product does.
Yeah, so think about the top of the show when we learned about David's history. He's taken the technology from many different really potent brands like Aveda or Pureology or KMS or whatever. He's learned kind of through those technologies. And I know Pure Volume used to be with Pureology just this amazing, but it was, and I think your volume shampoo is just as soon as people find out about it, especially fine girls, they're going to eat it up, because it is hard to get a vegan shampoo featherweight. So I'm not sure how you guys accomplished that, but it is a popular product with the fine girls that I know.
Yeah, it's a great product. We do very well with that. That's been around for 13 years as well. Still today, we get a lot of consumers raving about it.
So you also have a full line of styling products that we'll come back and talk a little bit more in depth maybe on the next show, but love all of your styling products. But just to kind of recap, the Colure is Color and Couture Hair Care, and it's full vegan hair performance using split pea protein for strengthening the hair. All of the pH is on the bottles. and they try and keep all of their pH around the 3.5 to 4.5 area to keep your hair in the most healthy state to maintain your color and integrity of the hair. So did we capture most of the introduction to Colure today?
You did an awesome job. I had such a good time on the show.
We so appreciate you coming and giving us this introduction. We've done demos on the show, so maybe you and I could do a side-by-side or something like that coming up. But I know your time is precious, David, and I so appreciate you being here and giving our customers a good introduction from the man himself on these amazing vegan hair products.
It's my pleasure, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Well, we'll definitely have you back. Have a great weekend and you stay safe out there.
You too. Take care.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye.
David. Wasn't he fascinating? I love speaking to industry icons and their history in the hair industry. It fascinates me. I like to see how we've evolved. So it's interesting that how we used to, back in the 80s, use these really harsh chemicals, and our scientists have really come so far in getting us water-soluble products and healthier, less ammonia, less chemicals, no formaldehyde, no sulfates, no parabens. It's just amazing how far we've come for the health. And I appreciate all of you for keeping me in check on knowing what's important to you. So definitely, please reach out to me. Let me know if you guys need any shows on specific ingredients, products. This is what it's all about, is fulfilling your curiosity and wanting to know more about brands, and then also wanting to know the new up and coming technology that these amazing scientists come up with all the time to improve on what was already good but could be better. And that's where we've gotten Colure today. Colure Vegan Hair Care. It was great to talk to David. Our numbers are down below. I think I said hi to Sammy earlier. We have a new cosmetologist answering our phones in customer service. So feel free to reach out if you guys have questions and need to know a little bit more that we didn't answer, or put your questions in the comments below, and David and I will reach out later and read all of them and get back to you through the weekend. So everybody have a safe weekend. Congratulations to my daughter Jane graduating again tonight, and bye for now. Take care.